you know, if you want a relaxing practice, emphasize your exhale. If you want an energizing practice, emphasize your inhale. But there are rules of pranayama. And one of them is that your exhale should never be shorter than your inhale. Your inhale should never be longer than your exhale. Why? Because it pushes your heart. It's not good for your heart, you know. So don't just think you can do more inhales and then that's good, you know, and you'll be more energized. It's there's a science, I want to say, there's an art to these ratios, and it's actually quite nuanced and subtle. So, you know, just be mindful that just like doing more inhales is not the way to go for Brahmana. There's actually a very intentional, subtle way that you build it. So that's I'm gonna show you that today. Feel free to use these ratios that we're teaching. They're fairly safe. I will say one thing. I'm going to be teaching the 4-8 ratio in many, and then we build it to 8-8, and I'll be teaching that in many asanas. But if you're breathing, if you don't like the feeling, if you're feeling like you're pushing your breath, or there's any kind of feeling of stress in your system, then you really want to bump the ratios down. You could always do a 3-6 and build up to 6-6. That's one way. Another way is to go a little faster. So that's also fine. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So join me on the mat. We're gonna start in a comfortable seat. You can sit on a bolster or blanket, whatever's comfortable for you. And take a moment. You can soften or close your eyes if you like, and take a moment, just kind of tune in. How does your breath feel right now? How does your body feel? And just notice anything about your body that you want to be mindful of today. Something that maybe feels sore or stiff, if you have a recent injury, so that you're really having that intention of taking care of yourself. So we're going to start with a few joint rotations. These are called the Pawan Mukta Asanas. So let's start by rotating the wrists. You notice which way that you initially go, which way your hands want to go as you start to rotate your wrists. And you could try it with your fingers spread out, and you could also try it with your hands and fists. And then we'll get into the elbows a little bit, some circles. You can go in both directions. You know, the Pawan Mukta Asanas, these joint rotations, are considered to be a practice to reduce the vata. Vata is the wind in the system, and that doesn't just mean gas. It also means the creakiness in your joints. So the joint rotation is a way to reduce the vata, and the way that translates mental emotionally is it helps to reduce agitation and anxiety in the system. So you can stretch your legs out and start to do some circles with your ankles. So sometimes, like the Pawan Mukta Asanas, we're like, these are really boring. Like, I feel like they're kind of boring. But when I do them, it's really interesting how I feel a calming, the feeling coming over my nervous system. So, like, take time for them sometimes. Why not? You know, you can check it out. You could also do flopping the knee a little bit. That's part of the series. And a little rotation into the hip. Now, these are great to do lying down, of course. You don't have to be sitting up to do this. It's just one possibility. And then we'll flop the other knee a bit. Looks like my cat's helping out here. And we'll make some circles. He really loves my yoga blanket. It's his favorite place to nap. Okay, and then let's do, so we did the elbows and the wrists. Let's do shoulders a bit. You can do a little backward rotation. And one thing that I like to remind everybody, this is not about exploiting your range of motion. This is about finding smooth, easeful movement, sending messages to your brain that's saying, oh, that feels good. And then the messages from the brain coming back down saying, hey, no pain, no pain. Calm the nervous system down. So there's some really important things that go on when you do slow movement underneath your range, your full range of motion. And that's what you want to get. You want to get easeful, fluid feelings here. So you could do swimming if you want, backstroke. And then allow your hands to come to the back of your neck and give yourself a little massage here. And then visualize that you have a flashlight on the top of your head. And as we support the back of the neck, we'll do little tiny circles on the ceiling from the top of the head. So little tiny circles. You can go in both directions. And then a little more neck massage. Let's let the hands come down to the lap. Just pause for a moment, take a nice long breath. And then tiny little circles with your spine. So the hips stay grounded, but the spine starts moving. And just little tiny, it doesn't have to be huge circles, just little tiny ones to feel the easeful, fluid movement. Also, this is a great way to notice, hey, what's going on in my hips and my low back today? Just kind of tune into that. You go in the other direction. And then back to neutral again. Take a nice deep breath. Okay, fantastic. So what we're going to do next is come up to tabletop pose. Sorry, Kitty, you're going to have to move for this one. So coming up to your hands and your knees. Come right there. There you go. And your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. So now we're going to start with that ratio. So the inhale is 4 and the exhale is 8. Okay, let's give it a try. So as you inhale, lift your chest, pull your hands isometrically towards your knees. As you exhale, to the count of 8, lower the hips back down. Now inhale again. Let's just try it again. Inhale to 4, exhale to 8. So your exhale is taking twice as long. Now this time inhale to 5 and exhale to 8 again. And next time inhale to 6, exhale to 8. Do it again, inhale to 7. Exhale to 8. And now inhale to 8, exhale to 8. And when you finish the one that you're on, just rest in child's pose for a few breaths. Just kind of take a moment, tune in. How does your breath feel? How does your body feel? See if you feel a little bit of that Brahmana. Now Brahmana, by the way, just to be clear, is not coffee, right? Brahmana is not stimulating. Brahmana is soup, or stew. It's nourishing. So you have a feeling of calm, grounded energy, not the same thing as stimulating energy. That's what we're going for here. So it's not like a lot of hyperventilating or anything. Slide forward onto your belly. And let's try the ratio here. So forehead to the floor. We're going to do a little cobra. Inhale to the count of 4. And then exhale to 8. You follow your breath down. Inhale to 5. Exhale to 8. Inhale to 6. Exhale to 8. Seven. Exhale to 8. And inhale to 8. Exhale to 8. Do that one more time. And when you finish, just pause for a moment and rest and notice. See if you can feel some of that Brahmana moving in your system here. Okay, take a slow trip back. Stretch your fingers out in front of you and stretch your back in child's pose. And then come back up to tabletop. We're going to extend the right leg out behind. Come up on your right toes. And then your left hand is going to slide across the inside of your right arm. Your collarbones reach up on an inhale and exhale back down. Now, one of the other principles I want to mention here, let's keep going, inhale up, exhale down, is that you don't want to use ratios with every single asana. You can do a few during your practice, but you don't want to do it with every single asana. It's too much for your nervous system. So you do a few. So this one, we're not doing it. Now, next time you take your left arm up there, let's stay. You don't have to be reaching to the ceiling, wherever it comes comfortably. If your shoulder doesn't feel great, place your hand on your waist instead, or left hand could be on your left shoulder. That's fine too. Let's take the right leg gets a little straighter. Let's take another breath here. And then release back down. And then come to rest in child's pose. And just be here for a moment in your child's pose, kind of tuning in, noticing your breath. And then press back up to tabletop. So this time we're going to stretch the right leg out behind. I just turned around so you could see me. Left leg out behind. And I confused myself in the process. And so the right hand is going to sweep up the inside of the left arm, across the collarbones, up into the gentle twist, and then exhale, slide back down. And remember, for some folks, if you got something going on your shoulder, you might just open a little bit. You don't even have to take the hand all the way up. Exhaling back down. Inhaling, opening. And exhaling, sliding. You might go a little faster than me. You might go a little slower than me. That's okay. This time we're going to stay. A few breaths. Use your exhale, draw the belly in a bit. If you like, you can look up, but you don't have to. You could look straight ahead. You could even look down. It's the shoulders that are opening. Gentle twist. One more breath. And then release back down. And take a moment to rest in your child's pose. It's not even so much of a rest as it is an interoceptive pause. So take a moment to feel the energy in the system, how your breath feels, how your body feels. Okay, and then please come up and stand on your knees. Face this way. With your arms by your sides. Take a moment to see. Sometimes I call this mini mountain. So you can put a blanket under your knees if you like. I'm on a rug, so my knees are padded, but if you need a little padding, by all means. Just take a moment and kind of feel your mini mountain pose. Do you feel some of this rising Brahmana from what we've been doing? You might feel a little energy. It's subtle. It doesn't feel like coffee. It's a different feeling. See if you notice it. We're going to take a deep breath, sweep the arms up over the head. And as you exhale, sweep your hands behind you. Bring your forehead to the floor. You can, if you like here, you can sort of tuck the belly in a bit and let the hands rest on the lower back. And then as you inhale, externally rotate your arms and stand up again. So when you exhale, you want to feel it coming from the pit of your belly. The hands are sweeping back. The chin draws in a little bit, stretching your back. Gentle, mobilizing, inhaling, lengthening as you come back up. This is called lightning pose, by the way. Exhaling down, draw the belly in. So even though it seems really simple, what you want to be doing is really using your breath and engaging the core as you go down. And then when you lift up, you keep the core engaged, you lengthen your spine, you externally rotate your arms very quickly out of the gate. Yep, and then one more time. Now this time, inhale back up to your mini mountain, and then exhale your arms down, float them down by your sides. Good, and then just pause for a moment again and notice. A little bit of bubbly, rising kind of, that's what you're looking for, that little bit of tingly, rising, resonant vibration of Brahmana energy. Then let's come up to mountain pose. So standing in your mountain pose, arms by your side, just take a moment and tune in again. How does your breath feel? How does your body feel? Okay, now we're going to play with the ratio again. So 4 counts in, 8 counts out. Remember, if that's too long for your breath, do 3, 6, or you can speed up the numbers a little bit, play with it. But the main point here is you want to have a comfortable feeling in your breath, because that conveys a comfortable feeling to the nervous system. So it shouldn't feel like you're holding your breath or none of that. It should feel very smooth and even. And if it doesn't, you take the numbers down a little bit, or you speed the numbers up a little bit to make it comfortable, okay? So this is the inhale. We're going to count to 4. And then exhale to 8. You see how your arms have to move more slowly coming down, right? Inhale to 5. If you'd like, lift your heels. Exhale to 8. Inhale to 6. Exhale to 8. Inhale to 7. You really have to think about the movement, right? Exhale to 8, because the speed changes every time you increase it. And now we're going to do inhale to 8, exhale to 8 twice. See if you can hear the ocean sound of your breath. So make a little ujjayi in the back of your throat. We're not quite finished. Next time, inhale to 8. You may be lifting your heels, you may not. It's totally up to you. Stay here as you interlace your fingers and exhale to 8. Soften your elbows, lower your heels a bit. And then turn your palms up and inhale to 8 again. And exhale to 8. By the way, if this is getting to be too much, just let go of the breath entirely. Just breathe and do the asana, okay? Last one. And releasing back down. Soften or close your eyes. And just take a moment to be present with your breath, with the sensations. Okay, next, let's do cactus arms. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, soften your knees a bit and fold forward. Just free breath. When you inhale, cactus your arms again, lengthen your spine, come back up. Do it again, soften down, free breath, just flowing at your own pace. You may go a little faster, a little slower than me. Last one. This time we'll stay down here. Let go of your head. You can shake it yes and no a few times. And then arms to the side again. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, release your hands down. You can wiggle and jiggle a little bit. And just take a moment and notice how your breath feels, how your body feels. See if you feel that kind of rising. For me, it feels like these like little rising, you know, bubbly water, little bubbly water rising kind of feeling. And that's a weird metaphor, but that's what it feels like to me. It might feel like something different to you. I don't know what it feels like, but you're looking for some, you know, you're looking for some sense of like a little bit of uplifting energy. Notice how your breath feels too. Notice how your chest feels. Okay, so here's the next one. Warrior one, coming on up to the front of the mat. Step the left foot comfortably back. Doesn't have to be a huge stance, it's up to you. We're gonna do the same thing with the arms with the same breathing pattern, okay? So we'll start with 4 in, 8 out. On the inhale, the front knee bends, 4 counts in. On the exhale, the front leg straightens, 8 counts out. 5 counts in. 8 counts out. 6 counts in. 8 counts out. 7. Belly stays firm. Breathe into your chest. 8 out. Draw the belly in on your exhale as the knee straightens and the arms lower. Now 8 counts in, 8 counts out. We're going to do it twice. You have to pay attention to the speed of your arms. It's following your breath. And 8 down. Again. And then we're not quite finished because this next time we're going to stay in the pose. Go for 8 counts. Interlace your fingers. Exhale to the count of 8, softening your elbows. Drawing the belly in. Turn the palms up. Inhale to 8. Exhale to 8. Draw the belly in. Do that one more time. And then release your hands down. Straighten the front leg, step the back foot forward. Give it a wiggle and jiggle out. Now, if you have any symptoms like you're feeling dizzy or nauseous or lightheaded, anything like that, that means you're pushing your breath, right? So this is not the Olympics of breathing, thankfully. Thankfully, there are no Olympics of breathing yet, although that's probably coming, but right now there aren't. So, you know, just be really mindful that you want to nurture your nervous system, not blow a gasket, right? So it doesn't matter how fast you're going. It doesn't matter how slow it doesn't matter what the numbers are. Just totally work within your own range. I've been doing this for a while, so I might be leading it a little slow, you know? So take it down a bit. If you've never done this kind of practice before, take it down. You don't want to feel dizzy or lightheaded. You want to feel like, oh, gentle energy, you know, a nice kind of feeling to it. So let's do the other side. So let's step the left foot forward, right foot back, and we're going to do the same movement with the breath. So you can go faster than me if you want to, or go a little slower if you want to. It's totally up to you. Okay. So when you're ready, on the inhale, 4 counts, arms float up, 8 down. And we're going to do 5 counts in. 8 out. And then 6. and 8, 7, 8 down. Don't forget to draw your belly in on your exhale. And then 2 to the count of 8 in, 8 out. Okay, when you finish the second one, then we're going to come back into the pose again. Count to 8. When you get here, interlace your fingers and use your exhale to soften the elbows a bit. Turn your palms up. Count to 8 as you extend your arms. Really breathing into the side body here as much as the front, breathing into the back as much as the front. Do that one more time. 8 in, 8 out. And then on the exhale, hands float down, that front leg straightens. And then come on back out of it. You can give yourself a little wiggle and jiggle. Just let things go. And kind of take a moment. You know, I love to call this the interoceptive pause, which maybe sounds too scientific, I don't know. But it really defines what you're doing here, which is you stop and you go inside and you notice, what did the movement do to my body? What did the breathing do to my body? How do I feel right now? How does that translate to my state of mind? These are very important questions, and they lead you to a deeper sense of understanding yourself. So that stopping and noticing, it's just as important, right? What I always say is the pause is just as important as the pose, right? You stop and notice that. Okay, so please take a slightly wider stance, kind of triangle pose-ish. And then, and this one we're not going to do breath counting. We're going to take the right hand up, like you're saying hello. The feet are both pointing in the same direction, by the way. The left hand rests on your left leg. And then as you're ready, start to reach up and over with that right arm. And then on the exhale, float back down. Now, one thing that you can focus on here is use your breath to move into your right armpit, your right ribs, the right waist a little bit. And then when you exhale, draw the belly in. So sometimes what I like to do is put the opposite hand. So I'll put my left hand on my low belly, below the navel. On the inhale, I reach up, but I keep reminding myself to keep a little support in the core. And on the exhale, I draw the belly in a bit more, okay? Now this time, stay. And when you exhale, draw the belly in a bit more. Use your hand. Do that again. Breathe in. If you feel like, oh, I want a little more core, then you can start to let the left arm reach out with you. Take another breath, but you don't have to. You can keep the left hand here because that reminds you. The main objective is take that breath, massage the right side of your body. Use your breath to massage it. All the muscles between your ribs getting a nice massage, a nice stretch here. Take another breath. And when you're ready, then release back down. And then I'm pretty sure that the sensations in your right shoulder and your right arm, your right hand, and your right ribs are quite different than what's going on the left side. So take a moment and observe that difference. How different is it? How does it feel different? Is it very different? Just a little different? See if you can notice. And then we'll place the right hand on the right leg. Left hand does the universal sign for hello. And when you're ready, take your deep breath into the left side of the body. And on the exhale, coming back. So drawing the belly in. So the objective here is a lateral, this is called a lateral bend. For some people, I have my hand facing the camera here. For some people, they really like to turn the palm more towards their ear And that gives you a little more external rotation in your humerus. So for some people that feels really good in the shoulder and the rotator cuff. By all means, feel free to try that if that works for you. I kind of like it both ways. I kind of play with it. So breathing into that left side now, we're using the breath to massage the ribs, the space between the ribs. Massage into the armpit. Massage the muscles from the inside with your breath. If you want, you put your right hand on your belly, reminding yourself to draw the belly in a bit on your exhale. This time we'll stay. As you exhale, feel the belly draw in. As you inhale, use your breath. Feel it in your right and your left armpit. Feel it in the side ribs, those intercostal muscles. Perhaps in your waist. Sometimes you can even feel it a little bit in the psoas, muscle that connects your back to your leg, your body to your leg. If you want a little more core, maybe the right arm kind of comes out, does a big weird celebration to the side thing. Take another breath here. And then when you're ready, we're going to release everything back down on the exhale and come back to neutral. And again, you get a nice opportunity to go, how does my body feel right now? Find the breath. Okay, on your next in-breath, sweep your arms up, cross your wrists. See if you notice which wrist is in front. And when you exhale, sweep down, and then cross your wrists and put the other one in front. So inhale, sweep up. See if you can keep alternating which wrist goes in front when you go up, and then alternate when you go down, exhaling down. If you can't quite figure it out, that's okay, because this is good for your brain. So you're just trying to kind of get different feelings when you go up there, like, I think I did it that way last time. Okay, one more time. Now this time when you come down, we'll stay here for a few breaths. You can work on feeling a little more sensation in the backs of the legs as you're here. You can work on letting go of the head. And then inhale, float back up. This time grab your elbows. And we'll just take a breath here. Draw the arms back just a little bit more. Just be breathing into your armpits. Next inhale, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, cross the other elbow in front. Same thing, pull those armpits back, pull the humerus bones back a little bit. Breathe into your armpits. And another one, just getting the arms up is very Brahmana. Inhale, take the arms up over the head. Exhale, release your hands down, walk your feet back together. I remember one time I was talking to a really advanced, not advanced, but like a very dedicated yoga teacher. He was a Swami actually in India. And we were talking about the arms and, having their arms up, and he said, no one can be depressed with their arms up over their head. I don't know how true that is, but it's a really interesting idea when you think about how this movement creates such an uplifting feeling. And of course, Ann Cuddy did those. If you haven't watched Ann Cuddy, she's the one who did the TED Talk and wrote a book about power poses, and how they raise your testosterone, make you feel more confident. So there's something about the postures, and the yogis have always said that the yoga postures are about balancing the endocrine system. So let's do a balance pose. So we're going to shift the weight into the left foot, bend your right knee, and place your right heel on top of your left foot. And then we're going to hook the thumbs into Eagle Mudra, place them on your chest. If you want, you can take your foot up higher or up to your thigh. So whatever you feel like doing today is fine. So we're going to do just a moment here. You can gently bilateral tap, so alternate right and left. So I love doing this mudra very slowly, very mindfully, and all you're doing is tapping in a sense of kindness, maybe compassion, maybe inspiration, whatever sort of intention you want to use today, whatever affirmation would be good for you. Just take a few moments, tap it in, tap it in. Notice which hand is resting on your chest, closer to your chest, by the way, because we're going to switch it when we do the other side. You can even try softening or closing your eyes for a moment. It's like, whoo, where am I? And then you can open them again. That's kind of be a nice little challenge, to soften or close your eyes. When you're ready, let your eagle mudra fly. Take a breath in. Turn the palms up, and then exhale, release down. Release the leg that was up and shake out your standing leg. And take a moment in your mountain pose to notice, how does your breath feel? How does your body feel? And then shift over into your other foot. So shifting into the right foot, bend the left knee. You can place the heel on top. And then see if you can figure out the mudra, because you can do it the other way. Maybe it'll be a little confusing for your brain, which is good. Make the brain work a little bit there. It's good for, you're just doing stuff that helps the hemispheres communicate better. So when you're ready, then we'll just gently start, and you can move your foot however you're comfortable. We'll gently start tapping in the affirmation, maybe self-kindness. We could all use a little more of that right now, right? A little compassion. Maybe it's inspiration, whatever you need in this moment. And it should be a real slow tap, by the way. It's not drumming. It's just a slow little bilateral tap in the area, the subclavicle area, so underneath your collarbones, which, by the way, this area right under your collarbones is related to the lung energy in Chinese medicine, which probably we all need a little bit of stimulating for the lung energy too right now. Okay, when you're ready, you can release. Oh, we did the let the eagle fly. Take a breath in. Turn your palms up, elbows, thumbs back, and then release it down. Release that standing, release the leg that was up. Shake out the standing leg. Shake out your arms a bit. And just take a moment. Before we move on, just take a moment in your mountain. How does your breath feel? How does your body feel? Okay, next we're going to come down and get into our ratio again. So what we're going to do next actually is tabletop to down dog. But if you don't feel like doing that, you can do tabletop to child's and you'll get a similar effect, okay? So tabletop to down dog or tabletop to child's. Now remember the ratio. So inhale to 4. Exhale to 8. So take your time moving into your down dog because you've got to get there in 8 counts. Inhale to 4. Oh, sorry. Inhale to 5. Sorry. Exhale to 8. Inhale to, where are we? 6. Exhale to 8. Inhale to 7. Exhale to 8. Inhale to 8. Exhale to 8. And one more time, inhale to 8. And exhale to 8. Now this time we're going to stay in downward facing dog. Now, as you inhale, feel like you're lengthening your arms and legs and spine a bit more. And don't worry about counting here. So maybe three or 4 more breaths in your down dog. If you feel like you want a little more Brahmana, inhale plank, exhale down dog. And If you really want the Brahmana, do it to 8 counts. 8 counts in, 8 counts out, and notice what happens in your system. It builds it up just a little bit. Okay, so when you're ready, you can keep going if you want to. When you're ready, take a moment in child's pose. Just kind of tune in. Or, you know, sometimes child's pose gets a little like almost claustrophobic to me. So sometimes I'm just like, okay, I just want to sit up in, this is called Virasana, the hero pose. I just like Virasana sometimes. So kind of notice my breath, notice the subtle effects of the asanas and what's going on in my system from messing around with the ratios. Okay, we're not really messing around with them. There's something, you know, there's a lot of logic to this actually, but we are messing around with the nervous system for sure. Now when you're ready, lie down on your back. Logically messing around. Okay, lie down on your back. You bring your feet up flat. And then hug your knees into your chest. You can do a little side-to-side rocking if you like to start. Maybe some circles. Okay, and then place the feet back down, arms by your side. So we're not going to do ratios on this one, but we're going to do inhale, the arms up over the head as the hips lift. And then exhale, the arms float back down, the hips float back down. So let's do that again. Inhale, arms up, hips lift. On the exhale, floating back down. Some people feel it's much better to do cactus. If you want to do cactus, it has a very similar effect. A little different on the shoulder joints, but has a similar effect to the nervous system. So feel free, there's nothing wrong with that. It, you know, it's just different. It's nice. It's not a modification. I don't use the word modification anymore. Well, if you hear it coming out of my mouth, remind me that I said that, because I let it go years ago, but sometimes I still, you know. But I don't like that word. I like the word variation or adaptation. Those make sense to me. Whereas modification just sounds like, oh, this is the way to do the pose, but since you're such a loser, you can have a modification, you know? I mean, no, it's the pose works for your body, so you have to do it in a way that works for you. Okay, so this time we'll stay. Arms either cactus or up over your head or maybe by your side. I don't care how high your hips go up. It doesn't really matter at all. It should feel comfortable. What you're doing here is strengthening the back line, right? Hamstrings, glutes, erector spinae, all the way up, and that whole back line is getting a, you know, energy and a strength that it often is the opposite of what it's typically getting, because it's often, you know, we're often sitting. So it's like a nice antidote to sitting. Now take another breath here. And then when you're ready, we'll slowly float back down. Bring your knees into your chest, hands on top of each knee with the fingertips pointing towards the ankles. Take a breath in. As you exhale, just let the knees draw towards your chest. If you want, don't worry about the number of your inhale, but exhale to the count of 8. So you have that nice slow exhale. Do that again. Okay, last time. And then bring one foot down, then the other, hands by your side. Just take a moment and breathe. So I'd like to finish up with a little grounding foot massage, sometimes called happy feet. And also you get a hip stretch while you're doing this. So place the right ankle on top of your left thigh. We'll give it a little massage there. And you can squeeze, you do a little toe rolling, so squeeze and roll each toe. And then massage the bottom of the foot. very so this is a very grounding practice. It's also a vata reducing practice. This is a nice one to do at night before you go to bed. Have a little bit of sesame oil, coconut oil by your bed. Massage the bottom of your feet. I have fun putting all sorts of things in my oil, you know, lavender oil in there sometimes. There's lots of different things that you can, you know, or lots of different oils that you can use to have fun with this. But also just really nice before bed to give your foot a massage and help you sleep a little better. So after you've done that, you can hold your ankle and do some stirring the soup. You get into the hip joint a little bit. You can stir the soup in both directions. And then let's do the other foot. So left ankle on top of your right thigh. And so I'm just massaging the bottom of my foot with my thumbs a little bit like this. It's nice to massage the arch, the inner arch. There's all sorts of stuff you can do with your feet. Obviously, there's stuff, you know, and sometimes I think, like, why don't we do massage more on ourselves? When I lived in Asia, in a lot of countries, like in Japan, people are much more into doing self-massage and massaging each other in the family. You know, it's not, I don't know. It's something I feel like we miss in our culture a little bit. Oh, another one I didn't show you on the other side is you can interlace your fingers between your toes and do this one. So you give yourself a little yoga toe stretch and massage. You can stretch the toes back if you like, and forward. And then if you want, hold your ankle or hold underneath the right thigh. Do a little stir the soup. For many people, it's nice to lift the hips after that because this is the counter pose to the deep forward bend. So feel free to lift the hips for a moment. And then we'll settle down for Shavasana. I'm going to sit up during Shavasana. It's good that Jerry's been here teaching us or guiding me the whole time. He's been giving me advice about helping everybody relax. Okay, so when you come into your Shavasana, you're welcome to put a blanket on top. Put a bolster under your knees if you like. Begin to notice the flow of your breath. Notice how your body feels after the practice. We'll do Shavasana for about 5 minutes. So can you get a little softer in your arms and your legs? You let go of your ankles and your feet, let go of your hands, let go of your wrists. See if you can soften the muscles in your face a bit. So what we're going to do here is start to tune into the harder parts of your body that are resting on the earth. So start with your heels and notice how they rest on the earth. And kind of visualize that hardness starting to soften a little bit into the softness of the earth. And then from the heels, let your awareness travel up the backs of your legs till you get to your sacrum. And notice the hardness of the sacrum resting on the earth. And then visualize it kind of melting, softening into the earth. And then start to notice the vertebra in your spine and let your awareness move from the sacrum up the lumbar spine, which for many of you won't be touching the floor if your legs are straight. If you have a bolster, you might feel it on the floor. Now notice those hard parts and kind of soften them a bit. And then start to travel up your thoracic spine. So noticing the vertebra in your upper back. And allowing them to soften. And then start to notice, where do your shoulder blades touch the floor? Does the right shoulder blade feel the same as the left, or do they touch in slightly different places? Allow them to soften. And let your awareness travel down your arms and feel your elbow points. Do they rest the same or they feel a little different? You don't have to change anything, just notice. Let them soften. Notice the backs of your hands, how they rest on the floor. And then notice the back of your head. And visualize that hard area kind of softening into the earth. Allow your whole body to continue to relax, and you'll hear my bells in about 2 minutes. Since you're at home, you might want to stay in Shavasana a while longer. Just reap the benefits, feel free. If you're ready, then you can wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe make circles with your wrists and ankles if you like. Yawn or sigh or stretch your body out. And then bring your feet up flat, roll to the side, and taking your time, use both hands and come up to seated. So if you'd like, you can stay and join me for a little pranayama. We're just going to use the same ratio we were working with. So I'll go a little bit later. I try to end at 10:30. I'll just go a couple minutes over. But if you can't, you can always watch it later. So sitting with a straight spine. Taking a moment to tune in and notice how your body feels. See if you feel some of that uplifting Brahmana, rising kind of energy. We're going to inhale to the count of 4. Then exhale to the count of 8. And then inhale, do that again. Inhale to 4. And exhale to 8. Inhale to 5. Exhale to 8. Inhale to 5 again. And exhale to 8. Inhale to 6. Exhale to 8. Inhale to 6 again. Exhale to 8. Inhale to 7. Exhale to 8. Seven. 8. Now, this next time, inhale to 8. Exhale to 8. Inhale to 8. Exhale to 8. Again, 8 in. Exhale to 8. 2 more times. Last one. And then I want you to just let go of all the numbers, be free, and notice the feeling in the system. So I want to say this as you're observing, that if you feel a little too energized or a little hyped up or a little lightheaded, anything like that, then just when we finish, do a slow lengthening of your exhale. 4 counts out. Don't worry about your inhale. Just breathe in. 4 counts out. 5 counts out. 6 counts. 7 to about 8. Do that a couple of times. So like 2 times 4, 2 times 5. Because what that will do is reset the nervous system to go back into parasympathetic, like a little more parasympathetic balance. We're not really out of parasympathetic balance here. We've just kind of tweaked with the nervous system to bring a little more energy, a little more sympathetic in. But don't think that that means that you are like out of the parasympathetic. What the research shows actually is anytime you focus on your breath, it tends to put you into a more parasympathetic state. Let's finish with palms together at the heart. And take a moment to bring somebody into your life who you know might be struggling right now. Offer them a moment of peace, a prayer, a vibration of kindness or compassion. as if you could offer some of the fruits of your practice to that person. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste, Namaskar. Thank you so much for being with me today. It's really nice to have you here practicing. And there's been, a nice group of people here from all around the world. Just take a moment and kind of acknowledge that community. So I want to also say one more thing, which is thank you so much to everybody who has enrolled in my Cultivating Calm in Times of Crisis program. It's just really been heartwarming to see the response to it. If you feel like you know somebody who might need this program, it's not just for yoga teachers, it's for anybody who feels like they need to feel a little more calm. Feel free to share it. Thank you for practicing with me. I'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I hope you can join me for my last class of the week. Namaste.